You will be. So, you guys are hysterical, by the way.
There it is.
Should be able to see me in there, right? Red, orange, and yellow guy. So, again, that's why I always do a quick demo. So, the red, orange, and yellow guy means I'm the warmest thing inside the frame. So, we're looking for blue and black. Those are going to be our coldest spots, as Kenneth said. So, I want them to either take shape or to start moving on their own. That's basically the gist of this camera. We're always going to have a cold spot in there because we're going to try to keep a person of reference in frame so that way we have a hot and cold in frame, but I want them to take shape. I'm looking for heads, shoulders, moving arms, and legs. You guys are getting the point of this. So does this capture something every single night? Not necessarily, but when we do, it is a holy cow moment. I will tell you that. So the great thing about this camera is you're going to get the full video back. Brett's going to be doing a few starts and stops because this is a FLIR camera, and as great as it is and the brand name of FLIR, the software sucks. So the starts and stops will make sure that we're going to gain as much footage as we possibly can, but there's a blue dot bouncing around the screen is the way I have it set up. It's showing you the coldest spot in the frame at that particular moment. It's there for when you guys get your video back to help guide your eye on where the coldest spots are. Tonight it's 71 degrees for us ambient, so I'm going to be looking for 56 degrees and below. It's always a 15 plus degree temperature drop of what I'm looking for. So we're about to geek out on some science. Are you okay with that over there?
I've done science.
Okay,
so,
figured.
Yeah.
So I'm going to actually stop this video. Everybody holds this one-handed. So just be mindful of people walking by and going to their vehicles. So where the heck are we? We're in a parking lot. Congratulations. I told you I'm taking you to weird spots around town that the other tours don't go to, but this place used to be something. By the way, did anybody else hear anything? So did you get anything yet?
65 just now.
65. Nothing on that, but I will write it down just in case. But this place used to be the Eliza and Charles Pinckney mansion. So their mansion actually sat in the front of this space where those two cars were parked. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant and came all the way across, and we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. So that's the layout of the place. Communication device people, this is not a place where I'm going to give you questions like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there with the big red barn. You will be getting the answers from your spirit boxes, and I will be withholding information on purpose. So I got you. Don't give me anything less than that 3.5 now. So with that said, who the heck were Eliza and Charles Pinckney? They had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Chucks. That's why we look for secondary clues. I need to know which Charles is actually coming through in the event we have one of the 3 Charles Pinckneys here. So, the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution. That's a big deal for us, but I hate politics more than Nico over here. So we're going to talk about Eliza. She had a much cooler story anyway. Eliza married Charles pretty young, according to today's standards. And I say that because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, don't expect numbers like 12 and 14 from the colonial times that she came from. Think of today's standards. And I say that because her husband was over double her age when they married. Kind of a creepy age gap back then, a creepy age gap now. So that goes for the 3 communication device people. So she married her husband Charles because her father was over in England and he thought he was dying. He's trying to bring all of his children home one last time. So, hold on one second. So let me get through the history now. Just remember what numbers you have, okay? All right. So, she didn't believe he was dying. She stayed put and got married. It's 1740. When she figured it out, she moved into a cash crop plantation, got a hold of her dad, and said the rice plantations are going downhill. We're going to make a killing with the indigo. He's checking you out, Trees, just so you know.
I know he is.
You're cold.
All the husbands do it, don't worry.
I won't respond to that.
Dad started giving her contacts on where to sell the indigo. We now have an international businesswoman during colonial times. That is something absolutely unheard of. So that's the boring business stuff with Eliza. Let's get into the weird stuff. So with each communication device, I'm going to kind of give you a focused set of questions of things you can work on. We will be spreading out in this location. We're going to stay away from vehicles, of course, especially with all 3 cameras being out tonight. But we're going to see if we can get some really deep stuff out of you. Tell you about our next space.
Do you mind telling me I'm looking for a maiden name that starts with an L and any numbers? Is that what you said?
So the ages of Eliza's, how old Eliza was when she got married and how old her husband Charles was. Sometimes we don't even give you the year that they got married, which is very interesting as well. All right, so with yours. All right, you guys can spread out. Again, standing still is always optimal, but again, you can always walk around. Be mindful of the vehicles.
Can I ask something before you go? Is there
So that's why you're seeing like all the little dots.
So yeah, because I see the flame kind of like looking at the little flash. Yeah, so I was like,
Just don't point your camera.
yeah,
Is your-
thank you.
You're welcome. All right, just go ahead and put that before button. So, this thing is going to pick up anything in front of something else. So whenever there's like a, you're going to see that point and then there. So you see how it kind of came up, and then there's another little point down here. There must be something over there. It looks like Kenny over there is what it was picking up because he's in a darker area, so it only picked up one point of them. But it's going to stretch it to try to make it look like a person. It's always going to do that. So that's what this is actually designed to do. That's how the software works. But anything that's in front of something else, it's going to try to pick it up. So what happens is when something shows up and I'm like, I don't know what that is, I take a screenshot of it and then I brighten it up to make sure it's not a sign in front of the car or a sign in front of the building or a telephone pole in front of the building. So it's always going to pick up all of those points and try to make it look like a person. What I'm looking for truly out of this is when we got Marcella over there and all of a sudden there's something right next to her in a different shape and there's nothing there. Do you see where I'm going? Like I want an empty space to try to make sure like what we're finding is a legitimate entity of some sort. But again, I did watch a lot of things with this guy. There's been a lot more debugging than fun. Also keep in mind they will pick up shadows. So shadow is an absence of light. So therefore it looks like it's something more something like that. So when you see shadows like your shadow on the ground, it's gonna pick up the dots on the ground of the pinpointed person. So kind of keep that in mind. And you'll see that more as you go through some of the locations that are a little bit later. No. All I want you to do is make sure like that guy is spinning.
Okay.
So, and then when we leave the space, we'll stop the video and then we'll start it again when we get to the next one. But yeah, keep it recording the entire time until we leave the space.
I don't know if this is like what is it? It said bow and arrow, like really clear, and then it just.
I don't know. You got anything above 15?
Yeah, I got 7. No, sorry. I got 1,
So that'd be 14.1. Is that above 15? Whoa. Don't get it. Teaching her math. I love this camera.
It's hard to get it to sticking up top.
So with the this particular location, I'm sure you noticed the ground has a bunch of different colors in it.
Yeah, and all the cars are the coldest.
Yeah, right. Now, what I'm looking for here is when I'm watching this portion of the video, I'm looking at the wall. I want to see, because the wall is the warmest thing. It's hanging onto the day's sun. So I'm looking for any kind of blue anomaly to go across that wall that I can't recognize. Right. So that's your white and your yellowish areas. Again, with the people in view, they're going to be a little further away, so they might lose that depth of temperature, if that makes sense. But with this ground, we have gravel and cement and blacktop. That's why it looks so many different colors. Not to mention, if there's any water at all on the ground, it's always going to show up as the coldest. Water is obviously going to be much cooler than any kind of asphalt that's around. It's a lot of studying of what takes what type of temperature going through these videos and thermodynamics and all of the craziness that goes into it. But it is super fun.
So focus on heat sources primarily, and then the cold spots next
Right.
to them.
But again, I'm looking for 56 degrees, 56 and colder, because I always want a 15-degree temperature drop.
Yeah, everything's pretty small, or I can pin it down to be a
And again,
car,
that's
so-
why I don't always follow up with you guys in real time, whoever's using this, because it is a small camera. We're actually getting ready to upgrade this into an iPad, just like what we're using on that other camera, so it's much
Yeah.
easier to see. But we were always trying to keep it very discreet when we were in spaces like this. That's why this was one of the first cameras we had. That's why I was like, we're going to keep it this way. And then when the SLS came around, I'm like, oh, damn it. The only way this is going to work is going to be on an iPad. So, she's got something else. Let's see what she's got.
I got 23.4.
23.4. Now we're talking. So now your new baseline is 23. Don't give me anything below 23. Teach these kids a thing or two, right?
See if there's anything following Teresa around.
And then you could tell her later on that she had something.
Okay.
I guess that's a plant. Doesn't even pick up on that. That's a car. There's a little blue, see that little blue thing right there?
Yeah.
It lands on cold stuff. So that's a cold area right there.
Where? Where's it pointing?
It's pointing over there towards that car where the camera's pointing. So that's probably that car. So he says, yeah, run around the building. Look, and it's picking up cars in front of the building.
But it's staying in that spot. So you
It
think
is
it's the car it's picking
Yeah,
up?
yeah,
It's
because
cold?
there's nothing colder over here. That's the coldest thing in the camera's view. So if I take it out of view, right, now it'll change, and now it's over here. And I don't know what that is, but it doesn't look like the form of a person. Now it went down to your phone. Just a minute ago when it was up in view. Bring your phone up a little bit. See it's on your phone. Likes the top of your phone. But it goes to the coldest place. And what you're looking for is something that looks like a form of a person or something. So you can stand here and just go around and see. There's you get a lot of stuff off the asphalt. There's another little cold thing. This could be the cars in the background over there.
Yeah. On the other side of the thing.
And there's some down here too. That's the car right over there.
Yeah.
It's outside that
There's
thing.
both cars.
Yeah, so I'm picking up a lot of cars.
Walk over there.
Well, I did like 360 all the way around. Picks up something there. Something down low. Maybe it's that bush or something. Just to your left. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, right in there's like a big circular thing. It's actually this side of you. So maybe it's this sand stuff right here. Maybe it's this sandy stuff right there. That's what it looks like, because it's been this way of you. It's on this side of you. Towards me from you. Yeah, it's like this area right here that you're just walking into. It looks kind of sandy or something.
There's a big pile of sand right here. Right here where I'm standing.
Yeah, if I bring it down, yeah, it's right down at your feet. The blue dot's going there to there, there to there. There's my hand. So it's going like back and forth.
Okay, so I'm supposed to ask how old they were
When they got married.
when they got married, or what year they got
What date?
dates, numbers.
What numbers? I'm gonna go snoop over here. Ah, don't want to do that.
Yeah, but still.
Actually, no. The one day at golf, you paid for golf and mine was $6.
But anyway, this is a very unique space, but that date of July will normally come up specifically. Like we will get the July something, so we'll see if that something actually pops up. That's why I was hoping that the number would have shown up between the two of you, which it hasn't yet. Hopefully it does. But this is Philadelphia Alley now. It used to be called Duelers Alley. So this is where some of the duels used to occur, which by the way, you're not going to give me anything below a 7. Reason why is because we have lamp posts. They use electricity. They're going to give off a little bit of electromagnetic field. So above a 7. Got it? Okay. So, but we all tell the same story of the same duel that occurred because we can prove it. So if they start coming this way, just let me know so we can part the seas and I'm not standing in their way. But here's how the story goes. A doctor moved down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. If either of the two of you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl, it's not coincidence. It's part of his name. So anyway, getting back to Doctor. He moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has all of this cash, and she has an attorney helping her out with all of the new money. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's cash. So he tells Amanda, get rid of the doctor. He comes down here to Charleston to prove that he's not. So on his way in, the coachman that brought him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a good start to his day in Charleston. So, you got something going on over there, Brett?
It's rather amusing, yeah. It's not cold, though. It actually kind of looks like a face.
Is it in the ivy leaves? Like the
No,
bush leaves behind
it's
it?
just, I don't think
I
I'm...
just heard detained Amanda.
Detained Amanda.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of lost. It's kind of like right where that bush is, I guess. I don't know if bushes are cold.
It says as we show up.
It's weird.
We do have the word Amanda. So I want you to remember that these spirit boxes that these two are using are slowed down. So if they were to ask the question, what color is a big red barn? Let's let them pass by.
Go ahead, Mom.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, no
I thought we
worries.
said we were splitting the seas.
No worries. If we were to ask, hey, what color is a big red barn? And we heard Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. I don't need Rudolph the nosed reindeer. I just need the word red. So the fact that he heard detained Amanda, detainment has nothing to do with this story. Amanda does. So I'm excited that Amanda came through. Anyway, back to Dr. Ladd. Where was it? Oh, so he was coming into town, right? The coachman set him up. Somebody was walking by, seeing what was about to happen. His name was Ralph Isaacs. I stopped on Ralph for a second because he actually has the same initials as where the doctor came from. Ralph Isaacs, Rhode Island. The letters R.I. were showing up all the time on these red spirit boxes, so I have a digital Ouija board in my bag that we will sometimes use just to see if the letters will actually pop up. And we have had it at least half a dozen times in the past 4 or 5 months as I'm telling this part of the history. Very interesting. It's like it's on cue. But anyway, Ralph tells the doctor, I know what's about to happen, dude. You don't want to stay here. This guy's going to try to kill you. Come with me. We're going to go to 59 Church Street. 59 is a prominent number normally, by the way. And you can stay with some friends of mine. They'll rent you a room and you'll be safe. The doctor took him up on the offer, they became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point that he wasn't after Amanda. It gets ugly and they go their separate ways. Ralph goes to his friends at the newspaper and puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of mentality. The doctor saw the ad. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Catching a lot of leaves, I'm sure. A lot of leaves are cooler, so much cooler than the asphalt. I was just looking at that because it looked weird to me.
Oh, right there. Yeah, I got a cool area and we're standing by a batch of sand over in the first parking lot where the mansion was.
Yeah. Probably where they put that stanchion for that sign. Is it over there?
It was towards the back of the lot,
Okay.
close to the street. You thought I was filming the people on.
Oh, gotcha.
I was actually in front of them. I had the focus of this in front of them,
Oh, I gotcha.
and then as they were going by, I just zipped it back.
Well, I seen like you kind of were going like this as they were walking, and it was almost the same pace. And you'll hear it on Tracy's camera. And I was like, I think Brett's filming people. I think it's time to quit.
No. The only people I'm filming are our group,
Yeah.
because I like to kind of look around them, you know. But
It's definitely an interesting technology to learn in this. And again, I capture maybe 4 to 6 pieces per year on that camera, where it's like, oh my God, check this out kind of moment. But if we don't record, I won't get the footage and capture what was there.
it's kind of hard to keep it off the top. So I always like to try to figure out what that is. And that must be the leaves.
Yeah, that's like those blue spots I'm looking at are probably like these leaf piles.
Yeah. We'll go down there by the armory and see what's going on. I think I like sand. I think that's a house.
Yes. That's what I was thinking
Yeah,
too.
most people do. And I usually just throw that one out there, but I figure we got kids in here. Let me see how they turn out. And let me see
Yeah.
if they actually find it. All right, let's see what Kenny's got. Kenny, anything?
This here just likes to pick up stuff in the pavement. See where the blue thing is up there. Say, what is that? What is that right there in the pavement? It's a light blue, it's not really a dark blue. But it's picking it up. It's the coldest spot. It's just that pavement right there. You see over here.
Going back to over here. Let's walk over here.
Yeah, you walk over there and I'll tell you where it is. It is right. Just a little to your, well, it's kind of in there, right where you are, just beyond you, right in there. Yeah. It's right in there. But it doesn't look like any kind of figure or anything. It's just like a big blue blob. You know? If anybody's on the roof. Yeah, you come over here, it's clear down at the bottom. Looks like it's all warm on the building, which tends to marry up with other stuff. But once you get to the dirt, it's really cold. I don't know.
What's astral mean?
Astral? Like A-S-T-R-A-L?
Uh-huh.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I just get kind of tired of this thing. It's real blue right down at your feet, right over there. From your feet going right.
It's 10:34.
10:34?
Uh-huh. The time.
Oh, yeah. We've probably got to do that in church yet. I'm going to turn this off. I think it's off. I don't know.
Come up here, right in front of this guy. So I think we can't hear him. I don't think that we know anything. This one probably. Alright. Hopefully this works out really well. I'm going to tell you right now, like this kind of experiment either goes really well and they can get a lot of answers, or it goes really bad and nothing happens. So it's just one of those pieces. This is a very interesting story. And it's very short. I don't know a whole lot about this guy yet. Because again, this is a new space for me. I've only been coming here for a couple of months. First time I came here, I told my 2 guests, because it was cold that night, middle of November, we're going to go experiment with a new location. We're going to see what happens. Look around. There's a million monuments. I know who's going to come through. The young lady using the spirit box, the Kenneys, heard the year 1828, the name Henry, and I was using your word list. The name Tim showed up. This is Henry Timrod, born in 1828. So, hot damn, there's my ghost. So, brief history on him. Your other spirit boxes. So, Tracy, you might actually want to take his spirit box and listen in, since he's taking over your camera. Perfect.
Can you hear me?
Got nothing so far.
Small.
Okay, so it's 11:03. We are looking to speak to Henry Timrod. If you are here, I want you to tell us what your occupation is, please. Yeah, Mom, you almost want to have stand and keep the camera on her specifically. I want her to have that footage. Whatever you say she wants me to. Let's see. Well, she's going to have that recording. Henry Timrod, can you please tell us what your occupation is? What is your occupation? Nice and tight.
Head.
Right.
Every time that I kick,
Henry,
Mother's Day.
I want you to tell us what your occupation is. We're going to keep things nice and simple to begin with, unless you want us to move forward.
We found this image.
Henry, do you want us to move forward? That's a yes-no question. Are you ready to answer different types of questions?
Go down. No.
Okay, let's stick with your occupation then. You gave us the word red. Can you tell us what that's referring to? That's kind of part of the story I just told about you. About your blood book.
Red.
Okay, we'll take that. Slight. Why was the page red? Can you tell us why the page was red?
Why?
Try again. Why was the book red? Henry Timrod.
Rising from the sun.
Let's try again.
One more time.
Why was the book or the
Don't leave.
page red? Were you sick? That's a yes/no question.
Big front. I've been losing sleep.
Were you sick?
I don't know.
You were. Can tell us what disease you had? What caused your death?
Cry to sleep.
Henry, tell us what disease you had.
No, you can't hear.
Okay, we'll move on. That's okay. Let's go into your wife. That's a happy thought for you. Can you tell us your wife's name or how you met her? He was her school teacher, just so you guys know. Another creepy age gap kind of mentality.
What the?
Henry, tell me about your wife. Tell me about your wife.
Oh,
Henry Timrod. How did you meet your wife? Tracy, you got anything?
blinding.
Well, we do blindfold people, which is funny. We do get the word blind during this a lot. Like it shows up somewhere.
A great city.
What great city? What great city did you write about? Come on, Henry, you seem to have slowed down. We were doing okay there for a minute. Is somebody else
Speak to.
here with you? Is there another spirit here with you? That's a yes/no question.
A year.
Henry, I think we're getting off topic.
Shouting louder.
5 minutes she's been under, just so you guys know.
No.
She definitely can't hear us, by the way. I can definitely see that she's not.
I can't.
Can't what? Henry. We're getting slim on time again. Shall we start talking about your son?
I suppose.
Okay, tell us what your son's name was or what day he was born. What day was your son born? The number will be okay.
90s.
When was your son born? What day of the month? Take the number or the holiday.
My heart.
Henry, we're asking
Players too.
we're asking a lot of questions. You can answer anything I've asked so far about your wife, your son, how you died, your occupation, anything you can grab. This is Isabella. She can hear you. Even though she's blinded, you know how this situation works. We've done this plenty of times now.
Just please. Stand on.
Henry, let's be more specific. Answer any of the questions I may have already asked.
5 employees in a post office. Clean, beautiful home.
Whenever I ask if there's other spirits here, we normally get the number 5.
Tell him on.
Who else is here with Henry Timrod? Because I only want to speak with Henry.
Young divers.
Who else is here? back to Henry Timrod. Henry, I need you to come through a little bit stronger because we're running out of time and you haven't given us many answers. Henry, what answers do you want us to know before we tap her out? Any words?
Insurance. Any longer.
Do you need us to stop? That's a yes/no question. Do you want us to stop? Still an answer. Henry, I think we're going to be done here. One last word. What do you want us to know? Do you want to say goodbye to us?
Speak to me.
Henry, I talk to you every night.
I'm listening to you.
But you need to answer us.
Turn around.
We need to have a conversation.
That end of the floor.
All right, Mom, go ahead and let's tap her out. Henry, I will see you tomorrow night, sir.